Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for, this is your bonus reading for January of 2025. Capricorn, this reading is going to be based off of the energy of the 10. We are having 10 conjunctions between the 6th and the 29th of January. So major energy. We'll talk about it more in a second. You have this Aries card. It says take the lead. It says don't wait for others to light the way. It's your time to step up and take the lead. You have the Scarab Spirit. It says what appears unusable may still have great value if you look deeper. And so we're having these 10 conjunctions, and this reading is going to be about like how it's going to affect you and what you should do with the energy. Conjunctions are very positive. They're also the most powerful transits we have in astrology. Again, I looked and tried to find the last time that we had 10 conjunctions in 1 month, and I couldn't find a day. So, but again, I'm no genius. So when it comes to astrology, so what I would say is, maybe someone can find a time, but it's very rare that we would have 10 freaking conjunctions in 1 month. So it's extremely, extremely powerful, like I said, and that's why we're focusing on these readings. The other thing is the first 4 conjunctions are happening in your sign. So, basically like the first 2 weeks of the month here. And, again, I think it's going to be good for you. You have the Knight of Swords. We are doing a Celtic cross. The first card is how you are entering into a Celtic cross. And you have that Aries card, which says take the lead. So Knight of Swords can be rushing or being too hasty. I always say, this is one of those cards where it's like, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. In your reading, I do like it. I would still be careful of, jumping to conclusions on anything. Rushing anything, of course. No speeding at this time. Didn't I say that to you a couple weeks ago? I'm pretty sure. So, definitely no speeding. No getting into trouble because you're rushing. Double check the fine print if you're signing something. But, at the same time, this is definitely a year of momentum for you Earth signs. So a lot of you could be doing things where you're building a lot of momentum. I think I've said this to you as well before, Capricorn, but there's just something about maturity or something. I mean, I wish I could explain what I feel better, but you are Capricorn. Capricorns are old people, even when they're little. I always say Capricorns age in reverse. It's like when you're little, you are probably a little old person, and as you get older, you get younger and more playful. And so Capricorns are pretty mature, but it's I think that what this card is trying to say is that there are certain milestones that people expect out of life, right? Like marriage, getting a career, whatever. I don't care. Buying a house, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that it's any of those things, but I think there are certain expectations that you have had for life. Let's put it that way, Capricorn. It's almost like there are certain expectations, and I literally feel that all of a sudden this year could be the year that meets your expectations. So again, I'm not saying you're going to get married tomorrow if that's one of them, but you could be meeting a person, but it's I really feel this is saying a lot of things are going to be happening, and I think these conjunctions are kind of kicking it off. Again, it's even extra powerful for you because most of 4 of these conjunctions are happening in your sign, but on top of that, the other 6 are happening in Aquarius in your second house. So, pretty interesting. And, could be, that's the sign right next to you. So, still very close to your sign. Could be a very powerful time. Your crossing energy is the Queen of Cups. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you at this time. And the words I'm getting here are stop trying to make sense or something like that. It's there's something you're trying to make sense. I feel there's something that's going to happen in your life that doesn't make sense for some reason. The reason I'm saying this here, Capricorn, is because you have the devil showing up in the area of what's on your mind. I'm for some other reason, I'm getting a very logical energy on the devil. Do we consider the devil logical? No. But what I would say is I feel there's something that your heart is pulling you towards. Could be literally anything, and it's maybe it doesn't make sense. You have that Scarab card. It says what appears unusable may still have great value if you look deeper. So again, maybe there are things that you've done in life that have value that could help you in business or some other area of your life. And I feel your heart is pulling you towards something, but your brain is saying no, that is crazy or no, that doesn't work, or something. And I feel the Queen of Cups is saying no, this situation isn't meant to make sense. It's your life isn't meant to make sense. It's like I don't want my life to make sense. That's not fun, right? It's like, it's like you just live a normal life. Like, what's your headstone gonna say? It's gonna say they live their life, they got a career, they retired and dropped dead of a heart attack. Like, how exciting. It's like, I'd rather have it say something awesome, like, he died jumping out of a helicopter at 90 years old without a parachute. That's like a pretty good way to go, right? So, that's what I'd say there with the Queen of Cups. Follow your heart. Don't jump out of airplanes or helicopters. Definitely not. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have the Devil. The Devil is you. Technically the Devil is Saturn in Capricorn, but can also be Capricorn. I feel like this is like, but again, I get this very logical feeling. Again, I read intuitively. I don't just regurgitate card meanings. I say whatever pops into my head. So, there's something very logical about this energy that could be keeping you trapped in something, or like preventing you from having something that you want. Again, the reason I say that is because we go down to your other card, the World, which is you right here. So it's like there's a goal or an achievement or something that you see that you want in the world. And I feel like the Devil is encouraging you to like set yourself free, and to like move towards your expectations or, something, even if it doesn't make sense. Next, in the area of your foundation, you have the Page of Pentacles. I'm a big fan of Pentacle cards showing up in the area of the foundation, especially the Court cards. The Court Pentacle cards are very foundational. For example, the Page of Pentacles can represent like foundational education. He's the card of studiousness, so it can represent learning the foundations of something. And when you have a solid foundation on something that you're learning, you can build something strong on top of that. So, again, I'm a big fan of the Page of Pentacles. I'm pretty sure I've been saying to you that there's like news or information coming for you this month. I'm pretty sure in your monthly reading, just the regular January one I did, or it might have been the 2026 one, I don't remember. But it seems to me like there's like good news or like approval or something like that coming in for Capricorn at this time. So definitely something I would, listen out for. Next, in your past position, this is the energy of what you're moving past. You have the Go the Distance card and this Observer card. The Go the Distance card is a finish line card. This is a finish line year for sure, 2026. And, there could be some finish lines that you kind of clean up right now. So even though this is coming up in a past position, again, conjunctions are the most powerful transits in astrology. And so it's not really a portal. It's like I wouldn't consider like all the planets being basically in Capricorn and Aquarius. I wouldn't really consider that a portal. And there is like basically there is this, all those planets there is forming, I don't know, I'm at a loss for words. I'll come back to it in a second before I just keep babbling. But anyway, it's not really a portal energy, but it kind of is. And so what I would say is with, between the 6th and the 29th, I think it would be a good time for you to, if there are any finish lines you can cross, like if there's anything you can clean up by closing it out, whatever it is, could be a project, could be a personal issue, could be something you want to overcome or whatever, or goal, like a small goal that you want to achieve. It just looks to me like it would be a very, it'd be like a very good time for you to do that, like right now, in the middle of this month here, between the 6th and the 29th. So, I think crossing those finish lines would be good. The Observer, I think you have been observing things for a long time, again, with that Devil card in the area of what's on your mind. Again, I get a very logical, like looking at things very logically and, examining things, but the fox or coyote, whatever it is, on that card is like looking at the moon. The moon can be a dream or something you want, so it's like time to go for it. You have the Three of Cups also in the past. Three of Cups is like a celebration, happiness. They're celebrating a harvest. It's a card of your community as well. The World can say it's time to take up more space in your community. And again, in the area of the near future, you have the World. So, going from the Three of Cups in the past to the World, this basically is saying you're taking up more space in the world, or you're about to do something where you take up more space in the world. The other funny thing that's popping into my head here for you, Capricorn, is I feel like some of you are finally just like letting something go. you are releasing something that you were hoping would come back to your life. The Three of Cups can represent a reunion. Some people say it can be like an ex coming back. I don't really feel that for all of you, but like maybe some of you have been hoping an ex would come back and now you're like finally releasing it. For others, I feel like it's something else. It's like something personal that you were hoping you could like do again or revisit, and it's like you're finally releasing it, and I do feel that this is going to be a good thing. The word I was looking for is stellium. So again, all these planets between Capricorn and Aquarius, they're forming this stellium, especially in Aquarius. And so a stellium, it's like a finger. Like some people call it like a yod, is the finger of God in astrology. And so it's pointing towards, kind of like Capricorn, Aquarius. And so it kind of is like this portal-ish energy, and that's what I was going for. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have the Solar Flares card. It says activate on it. You have this 9th house. It says exploration on it. Yes, definitely an amazing time to explore. I've been begging everyone for the past many months to go on adventures because I knew that the beginning of 2026 would be a very good time for adventure. So right now in January, but this continues, like, we don't have to stop going on adventures. I would just keep going on adventures until like, I don't know, 2033, basically. We have Uranus going into Gemini. The opposite of Gemini, of course, is Sagittarius. So, I think people also forget that we have to pay attention to the opposite of wherever a major placement is happening. And so, again, I think people will feel more adventurous during Uranus and Gemini. And the thing about Uranus and Gemini is we need more inputs. We need more information about basically everything that we're doing. It's a little bit of a Uranus loves Gemini, but I will say that there is some challenging aspects to it because we need more information. Like I said, anything you're trying to accomplish, anything you want to do, you have to go on adventures to learn through experience. You should probably learn from books and things like that. But the one thing I tell people is if you're just learning and you're not using it, then you're basically going to get nowhere. But we need a bunch of information. And then we need to sort that information. That's like the trick with Uranus and Gemini, is to take in a lot of information, but to use it so that you know what works and what doesn't. And if you pay attention to that, and if you do that, you will have a very good time. And so a great way to do it is to go on adventures. Like, go play around with your ideas and learn about them through doing them. Because you'll have fun, number one, which is like the most important part, but you'll also learn what works. You have the world also in the area of your very near future. So the world is Capricorn. So you're showing up in a very strong position here. Whenever you show up as yourself, puts you in a position of power and strength. It's also a great card for travel and exploration, of course. So you have that exploration card. You could be doing a lot of moving around this year and, all that other stuff. I've said it before. I have a ton of Capricorn in my chart, and I'm like traveling like crazy this year. So you'll see me all over the place, basically. So yeah, it makes sense to me, just in general. Especially, like I said, I think Uranus and Gemini pretty much gives everybody the travel bug in some way. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go far away either. This could be just like exploring where you live. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but definitely a good time for it. Next, in your outcome row, you have this new moon in Pisces. It says meditate and contemplate. Yes, a very busy year. Like I've said to everyone, I would pick 5 minutes a day to meditate, sit in a closet, close your eyes, whatever. You have this new moon in Libra. It says a new romantic cycle begins. Yes, this has been coming up for you quite a bit here, Capricorn. So if you're looking for love, definitely looks good. In the area of the next few months, here you go. You have love, Knight of Cups. So definitely could be a knight in shining armor or someone very important coming into your life if you want love. With the world, the Knight of Cups, he also is very dreamy, and he has a dream. But he needs to get to work. So he's standing in the desert, but he has this water flowing in front of him. If he just plants seeds in front of that water, they will grow. So, it could be time for you to also plant seeds towards a dream that you have or something that you want to accomplish. The white horse is, for some reason, the white horse is standing out to me. I never really pay attention to the horses, but the white horse represents assistance. And you have two here. You have the Knight of Swords and this card. And so there could be a lot of assistance, or, there could be specific people that are really helping you to nurture your dreams. you have the Three of Cups in the past, but I always say Three of Cups is my card of concentrated connections, like the people who really, really support you, not just everybody in your life. So, again, there might be like a specific group of people that would be more valuable to spend time with. There might be a specific group of people that really support you and lift you up, and those are the people I'd be spending the most time with. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Eight of Cups, which is kind of funny because you have the Three of Cups in your past. So, this could be you walking away from certain relationships. Again, this could, it's a little tricky because it could be your relationship to something as well. It doesn't have to be a person. Like, it could be your relationship to a belief. It could be your relationship to your job or whatever. The whole point of the Eight of Cups is that he is walking away from something that no longer serves him. He's choosing to not settle. And so I would be looking at where you are settling in life, Capricorn, and walking away from that during, between the 6th and the 29th. I think it doesn't really matter what day you choose. Really, I would say maybe by like the 23rd, 24th, 25th, because we have the Sun conjunct Pluto on the 23rd. Sun conjunct Pluto maybe is like the most powerful conjunction that we have during this time of powerful conjunctions. And so that happens on the 23rd. Pluto is where we get our power. Pluto is in Aquarius. It's been in Capricorn for a long ass time. So it's kind of like your time to decide like where you want to use your power. And again, that could mean that you have to walk away from things that make you feel less powerful or that steal your power or that make you feel weak or whatever. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Seven of Swords. I feel like this is something you have to get over, Capricorn, really, if I'm being blunt with you here. It's like, I feel that this is imposter syndrome. I feel like this is you feeling like you're doing something wrong, but you're not. It's like something. I don't really have any good examples for you, but it's like sometimes I think I don't know. Sometimes I think we become more successful. We feel like we're doing something wrong. Like maybe you can't explain it. Maybe you feel guilty or whatever. It's like I feel like this is almost something that you need to release so that you can be more successful. So especially if you're not doing anything bad, which you're not, I would like release, I would work on that feeling. It's like maybe you need to tell yourself that you deserve something or that you're good enough. Again, that's what I'm getting off of this card intuitively. You have the Knight of Pentacles. It's like I feel like I want to give you a boot in the ass here, Capricorn, with the Knight of Pentacles. It's like I don't feel bad about the Knight of Pentacles in your reading, but I do feel like it's saying, like, don't get to the end of the month. Don't get to the 29th, not, still thinking about something. I feel like maybe this reading is saying you need to set yourself free from the thinking part, right, with the devil in the area of your mind. The Knight of Pentacles, like, it's not bad. He's the only knight in the tarot that isn't making a move. It's like even if you got to the 29th or the 30th and you haven't done anything, like, is it going to be bad? No, but I just feel like the Knight of Pentacles is saying, like, use this time to make some significant progress. Don't just think with that card. That's what I'm getting. We're going to clarify now. Also, Capricorn, make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. Let's see. With the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Cups here, you have the Five of Wands. Yeah, I would avoid conflict at all costs. It is like, we are kind of like in a hot-headed time. Again, when Neptune moves back in Aries on the 26th, Saturn on February 13th. So, I feel we should avoid conflict, just period. And we should come up with other solutions. It's like I think we're going to see weird stuff with conflicts in the world. Even this morning, I woke up and, apparently they captured Maduro, the leader of Venezuela. I'm like, I don't think this is going to be a good thing at all. So, and, again, I'm not political. So, like, people always accuse me of things. I'm like, please, I think we are ruled by a bunch of reptile aliens, Illuminati members that eat babies. So there you go. I hate all of them. Plain and simple. Boom. But what I would say here is, like, on a personal level, I would make sure that you're avoiding conflict. With the Devil card, you have the Strength card. Yeah, having the strength to conquer the devil, right? The funny thing about the Devil, or the Strength card, is that she is conquering her inner voice. This is her inner critic, and she's the one that is in control of it. And that's kind of what we were saying with the Devil. So I think that, like, telling yourself you're good enough, telling yourself you deserve things, speaking positively to yourself is going to be critically important these next few months even. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Six of Pentacles. Pretty happy to see this with the Knight of Pentacles here because, the Knight of Pentacles needs to plant seeds. The Six of Pentacles is planting seeds. So, a lot of you probably are going to start making more progress or will start, making those necessary moves towards what you're trying to work on. So that is a good thing. With the Three of Cups, you have the Two of Cups. Could be an ex that you are releasing here. I will say there is something about the beginning of the year that is like karmic as well. Not only now, but, for the next few months. So it wouldn't really surprise me if, you are closing out like karmic cycles. And again, it doesn't even have to involve other people. It could just be some sort of karmic cycle that you've been involved in. Sometimes I feel that the Two of Cups can represent like a stepping stone soulmate. It can represent like a person that you feel a very strong connection with. And how you know that a soulmate is a stepping stone soulmate is usually you meet them and they're like going through something that you went through in the past. And so usually those people come into our lives to like remind us of a situation that we've been through, and they're just meant to like show us how far we've come maybe. And so some of you could be letting go of a person like that, but I will say that it doesn't even have to be a person. It's like sometimes I think we have stepping stone experiences where it's like we experience something that reminds us of a time from the past. And, it's like you're closing out that cycle. With the World, here you go. You have the Three of Cups. A lot of you could be surrounding yourself with new people, like I kind of said here. And so these new people are going to be people that can really challenge you in a good way, that can lift you up, that want the best for you. And those are the people I would be surrounding myself with if I were you. Also, you could just be attracting a lot of people right now, Capricorn. You could be attracting a lot of interest. It doesn't have to be love. This could be like in work and business and anything that you're doing. I've said to you before, you had Pluto in your sign for a long time. I think that kind of kept you in the background. And now it's time for you to like, take everything you learned and show off. With the Knight of Cups, sure, we'll take both. You have the Two of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Yeah, Two of Wands is about needing to leave a comfort zone. Probably if you want love, you're going to have to leave some sort of comfort zone, like get off the couch, get out in public, something like that. Knight of Swords could be something that happens very quickly. So, like I said, you could be being swept off your feet here, Capricorn. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Five of Swords. Yeah, like I said, walking away from something. Five of Swords, he's walking away from these two people. We look at this as a card of winning at all costs. But, if you are winning, or, if you're walking away from something that isn't right, you probably are winning, is what this is saying to me. With the Seven of Swords, you have the World. Yes. So more accomplishments, more achievements. The Seven of Swords is how we move in the world. He is stealing those swords from that army in the background. Like instead of going to war, he's stealing a sword so he can avoid war, right? So on a personal level, the Seven of Swords can represent doing things in a different way, which I've talked to you about before. So, definitely something to think about. He's also being more playful. He has these polka dots on his cloak. And polka dots in the tarot come up when we're taking things too seriously and we need to be more playful. And so, playful, fun energy is obviously going to be good for you. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Moon. We talked about the Moon with that Observer card. It's like there's a dream that you need to bring down to Earth. Part of me, as always, Capricorn, is feeling that Pluto and Capricorn is probably the thing that has held you back the most. Really, it didn't, because it's a good thing for you. It's taught you a lot of things. But the problem now is getting started on something where you don't know the outcome. So it's like you probably did a lot of things during Pluto and Capricorn where it's like they just didn't work, where you went down on the journey. I think the problem with Pluto and Capricorn sometimes is we can put a ton of work into something and like on paper it should be successful, but it isn't. And so that's like the Moon. You have to start something without knowing if it's going to work or not. And I feel like the thing with the Moon is that you just have to go down the path. Eventually the sun will come up, and that is the whole point with the cards. We're going to pull 5 themes now from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. So these are going to be 5 themes that you could be experiencing from the 6th until the 29th with all these conjunctions. You have this appreciation card. Yeah, gratitude came up quite a bit during the 2026 reading. So, being grateful for the things you do have. I think gratitude is one of the best energies to manifest from. So gratitude. Next, you have this protection card. Yeah, it's like you are protected. I think if you would just try something, that you would see that it's like not going to be like the past 20 years of your life. You know, it's like if you would just do what you're thinking, it's going to be, you're going to realize that you are protected. You have this influence card. Yeah, I would be, again, if you are getting into something in love, I would be careful of external influences. It's like you and Cancer, always, your opposite sign, that's why I'm saying this, always get these cards of like influence, or in this deck here, there's like a wedge card. I'll pull that card for you since I pulled it. We'll look at it. But you always get those cards, and it's like you need to make sure that nothing is coming between you and something you want. You have this birth card, world, twice. The world is a birth card, so you are definitely experiencing a rebirth, or you are birthing something new into this reality. You have this speculation card. I feel good about this. We have Jupiter in Cancer right now. Jupiter is going to move into Leo, but it is going to retrograde back into Cancer. So, number one, if you are like speculating on whether someone is interested in you or not, you could find out during this time. Like when Jupiter, even when it moves into Leo. I don't know what I just said, but it's going to move into Leo and then retrograde it back into Cancer. And so, during those times, you could be getting some answers. This card is this vote card. It says money or property through inheritance, winning, or windfall. So that's pretty good there, Capricorn. But this looks pretty good. Like it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your month.